So Beth is going to be talking about the spiritual reality of species in crisis. The understanding the relationship between the spirit and being a better human. Beth Lynch is an intuitive consultant, medium, author, and founder of the Inner Light Teaching. Beth is dedicated to sharing the connection to spirituality and mental and emotional wellness. The missing link in our evolution as a species is the misconception of spirituality. It is accessing that source daily that helps us live, love, create, and heal the life we truly deserve. Lynch's dedication to meditation, healing, and understanding death must show her the power of life. She is dedicated to helping and connect loved ones who have crossed. Lynch is a graduate of Delphi University Patricia Hayes School of Metaphysics, Arthur Ford School of Mediumship, and is recognized and respected on the Mark Island's prestigious group of mediums. Her practice is now in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and she's dedicated to sharing the connection to spirituality and mental and emotional wellness. All sessions are held via Zoom and recorded, and her telephone number is online, which is 888-271-4487, www.innerlightteaching.com. Beth Lynch, thank you so much.
Hello. Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for all you do. Um, Bringing everybody together like this. So first of all, you did the intro. I don't have to introduce myself, but I'm grateful to be here and speaking on a topic that I'm very passionate about. And I think maybe the title has created some curiosity. I call it the spiritual reality of a species in crisis. And I'd like to break the two words down a little bit first. First of all, as a spiritual medium, and like many in intuitive work and spiritual work and healing work, we go through our own, tragedy, crises in life, and we evolve and we ask the bigger questions. Why am I here? What is going on? And that's a nice bio on my website for all that. But I have come to learn as a communicator and as someone who is very sensitive to the spirit. What is the spirit? What is spiritual, really mean? And I think in my teaching and in my communication with spirit and the people that come to me, they're confused about what the spirit is. And to me, a definition is the essence of our consciousness. The spirit is the essence of our consciousness that is intuitive. It is intelligent beyond what we physically or know or can wrap our brain around, if you will. It is our creative expression. It's how we cope emotionally. That's in the spirit. It's the compassion that is beyond human potential. And it is the connection to something eternal that is there. So when we are separated from those qualities, we are not resonating vibrationally in our true spiritual nature, which is our most natural nature and our most powerful nature. So when I use the word, the species in crisis, yes, I'm talking, a lot of times in sessions, you're working with people personally. You see their crisis, you see their, the things that are going on in their life, the passings that are, creating distress and grief beyond what we can imagine sometimes in some passings. And it was interesting when I was thinking about my talk, because the word crisis, I literally could feel the word cry. And I never realized, in crisis, the word is cry. And when we look at what our species is going through, we're crying. They're crying. We're crying. We're humans. We're crying out for help. We're crying out for an answer to understand our reality right now. Whatever. It can be your personal things. It can be your community issues. You can be the global crisis that we're seeing. I mean, you just turn on the news. I don't need to detail it all. And so I kind of really stayed with that. How do I approach this discussion in the way to really help people understand, if we're really going to understand and move through crises, which in the human experience, they're going to be there. We're going to have grief. We're going to have disruption. We're going to have major storms that, can devastate a community. We are going to have these things, but we are wired in that spirit of who we are, the spirit of who we are, that eternal essence, that beyond the intuitive part of our who we are. We're wired to cope with all things. And I feel And I've seen this in my work that along the line somewhere here, we have lost the ability, or many have, I should say, lost the ability to understand they have this power. That the spirit to live, to understand life, death, and in between. The title of my new book coming out in October anyway. But life, death, and in between, through death, through crises, we are really going to understand who we are and what we're capable of surviving. And we are going to survive through our intuitive nature. I think intuition is misunderstood, just like the word spirituality is misunderstood, and intuition is survival mechanism. It's that part of us that is beyond the physical. And I'm sure anyone tuned into this understands that, but as teachers, healers, authors, we come across many people, and we've worked to get to that place. And I always say, change the word work to devotion. Let's be devoted to honoring our spirit, to honoring our intuitive nature, our creative expression. If we're not being creative and expressing and even creating our abundance, we're human. We need a roof over our head. We need food on our tables. We need to feed our families. If we're not doing these things, when you think about that, what are we separating from? Our true natural nature to survive. And if we're going to do that, well, no wonder there's anxiety. No wonder there's, depression and suicide beyond comprehensive. It's just beyond. In my work, I know I see it a lot. The people that come to me. So if we're going to really understand the reality we're living in, and we want to move through the crises, we have to begin with ourselves. This is what I, always feel. We have to be devoted to honoring who we are as a spiritual being and allow ourselves to become the human being we really can be. And a lot of people will say, well, how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, there's many ways. There's many people in this, expo teaching ways. And they're all beautiful ways. And we should resonate to what we draw to. We draw to what we resonate to. So, for someone, you might need to go back into regression and see something interesting about a past life to help you in this life. You might need just intuitive insight and help you. Many need the connection to their loved ones in spirit. That's a big part of my work. The loved ones in spirit want to show us our true reality. Many of them got there because they didn't understand the true reality. Okay, so when we listen to what spirit says or our own intuition tells us, it is amazing the level that we can be or express in as a human being. It's just humbling. I've watched people come from the depths of grief to, practicing a meditation, practice every day, and I gladly will share them. I have a thread I share with many people, and I'll gladly share it if anyone asks. 5 minutes of breathing, connecting to the breath, activating that aspect of yourself, getting connected to that higher self, your spirit, your eternal essence of who you are, the part of you that is so compassionate toward yourself, then toward others, because you won't be drained. You won't even attract to things that are that of a low frequency when you really are in tune to what you need, because your intuition guides you. It's natural to guide you. And, you recognize things, you have more compassion, whether those things are a person, a job situation, career change. What else is there? We're all dealt this deck of cards. It's how we're going to play the hand. It's a beautiful metaphor I've used often. How are we going to play the hand? Do we want to just throw it down and give up all the time? So the tools and, whatever modality, people are drawn to. I think it's so important that, as even in this expo, we all support each other. I was just in the psychic room. People were sharing with others, what they felt toward them. And it was really nice to be in there, by the way. And there are people in there, so you should check that out too. A lot of healers and readers in there that wanted to do, more readings. So check that out after my talk. So anyways, when you take the word, spirit, and you make that commitment to be devoted to that aspect of your consciousness, or to simplify it for some people, that part of yourself, your higher self, you're going to reach your that level of intelligence, even intelligence that is there, for us. We're all able to reach this level. I as I could do things in school, and it's many years ago, and I couldn't comprehend. And back when I was in school, they didn't really have a name for that yet, the ADD and all that. But I could read something 10 times and still not know what it was. So, just to put a figure on it, I graduated in 1977, so it was a long time ago. They didn't have a pill to put on a tongue for someone who couldn't comprehend then. You just felt kind of dumb, really. And my intuition was always so supersonic. So I was always feeling and picking up on things, that empathy. And many people will even use the word empathy as a downfall, is a curse to them. I'm so my empathy, I'm too empathic. Intuition runs through our empathy. We have to feel, to sense, to let that sensor guide us. So that's the law of attraction. If we put it out there that it's a burden to us, or a curse, or something bad, or messes with us in a negative way, which I take the word negative and say negative light, just change the energy of that word, then it's going to be that. Empathy is powerful. It's beautiful. It's how we feel the color of the sky. It's how we feel an energy of a tree. And we don't just see it with the physical eye. So I think the world, educating, or, being devoted to helping anyone around us, where do we begin? Maybe that's the question. Where do we begin? Maybe people are wondering that. Begin with ourselves, first of all, connecting to that part of yourself. Be creative. Make sure you're waking up doing something every day you love. I think that's important. And if you're not, be open to the higher possibilities, put an intention out to do that. So I have these cards, and I just got to share it. And I'm not a good plugger of my own stuff, but they're called the I Am Mantra cards, and they're backwards right now. But today's card was so interesting because I woke up this morning and knew what, today was going to be about. And I said, I'm going to draw one of my I Am cards, mantra cards, meditation and manifesting. And I'm going to do a little meditation in a moment, by the way. And the card that I drew was the picture of the world, which you probably can see. But the words are, I am, the highest alignment to frequency. When we declare something, the divine alignment, I am sending light where there is darkness for myself, my family, my community, my world. And I literally got teary-eyed and said, wow, that's what I'm doing today. I'm speaking. We're all doing this. We're all sending light today where there is darkness. So, love my I Am cards. And they came to me in a very inspiring way anyways. Like anyone, when we write a book, or we, put together a tool to help people, it always is inspiring. It's coming through inspiration. It's coming through the divine creative energy. It's a beautiful consciousness that is there for all, but it's this separation and misunderstanding of it that is hurting our species. And I believe truly putting us in the crisis we're in the cry for help. So as, individually, we devote to ourselves. I don't like the word work much. It's a devotion. We show others around us, whether it's a child in our life, is it a friend that needs a shoulder? We just don't, communities, communities, there's always volunteering. I know I taught, when I first started meditating, and I started seeing that even my ADD, because now it had a name, that not being able to comprehend thing, I was comprehending things, and that was amazing to me. I came to that realization, like, maybe 23 years ago. I was well into meditating at that point for a few years. And I started to realize that when I read something, I comprehended it. And I was just so excited. And then I went, wow. And then when all these things started happening with, kids, and they had the titles, and I'm like, well, that's what I did. I couldn't understand things. I couldn't grasp things. I was highly emotional, so I was like, little things started to fall into place for me. And it wasn't like one big, oh my God, I know it. It was really gradual in the last 2 decades of coming to a place where, well, geez, that's what that is. That's intuition, high intuitive empathic children coming in. The indigos, many people spoke of the indigos, the first wave of highly intuitive psychic children to enter in the 80s. Cryon, gotta love Cryon. And you know, they're all in their 30s now. I believe that would be about where they are, late 30s. And I work with a lot of people in that age, and I'm sure many of you do, that are actually struggling with natural coping skills. So, but when you bring in the power of their own spirit and you start giving them those words and they say, yeah, I want to be more spiritual, or I want to make more time for that. Well, I'm not spiritual though. How do I be more spiritual? When they understand what the word means, well, it's a natural aspect of who you are. It's the eternal part of you that's going to go up into the beautiful heavens. It's a part of you that is beyond your human potential. We have seen, in history shows it, the human potential is not enough. Then we can draw into the desire. Humans are never really satisfied, but our spirit shows us a higher desire, a desire to help, be devoted to ourselves, to claim the power that we can think a certain way if we choose to. Why are we giving up the power to direct thoughts? It's mind-boggling to me. I worked with the high school for 5 years, and this was something that when I started meditating, why isn't meditation in schools? Why isn't it? Now I'm talking, 20 years ago now, I would say that. And then I worked with a principal, and for personal reasons, in doing meditation, 2 sessions. And I actually was asked to start a program in the high school because he couldn't believe how much it helped him. Just simple, the basic, the breathing, releasing, maybe using some visualization. And I was 5 years in that high school on a grant. I was doing it volunteering once a month, but they wanted me 3 days. So, had to have that energy exchange. But the kids would come into that room, and I had the low lighting and the oils diffusing, and very much a meditation room. And when they would come in and they would just start doing their breathing, some come in their lunchtime, some had 5 minutes, some had 45 minutes. You never knew. They were coming in at all different times. But they entered that room and something changed in them. And I'll never forget one young man, 6 foot high, an athlete in the school. He said, "This is my first day here. I didn't want to come, but they told me to come. Where'd my anger go? I was angry when I walked in here. I don't feel angry anymore, Mrs. Lynch." And tears, and so I explained it to him. And then another girl, she told her family she was in the meditation room, and they told her that was the devil. We've all heard those things, right? And she said, "But Grandma, I feel God in me when I'm in that room." Now, if I'm in a meditation room in a school, I am not talking God. Got to be careful about those things, right? So I respected that. It was energy, it was breathing, it was mindfulness. But to be there for 5 years and watch these kids say, "Why don't we have a class on this in school? Why don't they teach us this? I could have, it's amazing." So the kids want it. I encourage people, give where you can with the kids. High school kids, that's as low as I want to go in age. Even though the young ones, they do too. I've done rec camps. It's amazing to watch 50 kids go like this and chant better than in a room full of adults, okay? And they just want to make the sound. So this naturalness is in the spirit. And you see the spirit of the kids, all ages. There's really no age to me. I'm going to keep an eye on my time. And so, when we get into, the magic of giving and understanding the power of the spirit and using meditation as a tool, mediating between what we think and how we respond emotionally is really what meditation is. We're slowing down the mind. We slow it down. Many people will say, "I can't stop thinking." I said, "I'm not going to tell you to stop thinking. You don't want to stop thinking. I don't know what you are if you stop thinking. You want to slow down your thoughts. Practice. Breath. The secret weapon. Breathing. Slowing it down." And I'd like to do a few minutes with you all if you don't mind. So I guess getting back to, the title of this talk and, the crying out of a species for, a better world, and a happier world, an abundant world. Stop blaming other things, and let's, go within so we can cope with what's going around, the noise that's around us. Share that with others, share it with the children in your world, your communities. I think that is so important more than ever right now. And, embrace the reality of things, but understanding that the spiritual reality can actually help us through the reality that we live in. And I think it's probably the only way to really move through and, allow ourselves, our families, our communities, our world to just really be what it can be. We have so much more to give. We have so much more that this world could be. And I truly believe that from my soul, and I believe it's possible. I truly do. So I'd like to just take you through a few moments of meditation, if that's okay. Anyone who wants to join me, follow along, and I'll keep it short. It doesn't need to be long, obviously. Don't have a lot of time, so we're good. So close your eyes if you can, comfortably. And just start following that breath. Breathing up through the nose if you can. Exhaling through the mouth. It's like you're blowing out a candle. Being careful. Being careful because the wax, something that simple, to use to slow your breath. Slowing that exhale. Breathing up behind the eyes with your awareness. The muscles of the eyes relax. The muscles around the forehead and temples. The whole crown of your head. Slow that breath wherever you're at. Relaxing. Flowing down through the cheekbones, jawline, down into the muscles of the throat and neck. Drop your chin a little. The next inhale, a little bit longer. Flow over those shoulders, relaxing deep into the muscles of the shoulders. Going down through the arms, into your palms, fingers and fingertips. And the lines of the fingerprints. Relax. They blur. They disappear. Your next breath, bring your awareness to the inner light in your heart. You may see, feel, or know you are one with this light. And if a color is sensed or seen or felt, you will bring that back with you. Let this color fill your heart and expand through you and into every cell, every fiber. All around you, your space, through your communities. Let this light surround our Mother Earth. She is held in this divine intention. In this divine light. The water, the air, the water, the earth, and the consciousness of all who inhabit be in this divine and natural alignment. Just be aware of how you feel in the next second or two. the slowness of your breath, maybe the slowness of your thoughts. When you are ready, open your eyes. No hurry. Anyone wants to share any colors or chat in any colors that you saw? That was a little meditation, and I did it a little quicker than I normally would, where we literally just go in, we make that connect, relaxation intention, and we tap the heart light. That's the most powerful chakra right here. People need to understand the power of love. Love is not weakness. Somebody told me the other day in a session that, well, they don't want to love anymore because they're always hurt. I said, no, your hurt is not coming from not love. Your hurt is coming from not being open to the love. It could be very much around you, but self-love, the most powerful love. That's a magnetic force. Nobody can mess with that. Nobody can give it to you. Nobody can take it away if you have it. To me, the children of the world need that, deserve it. Because we all know sometimes that's not what's happening under their roofs. And that's anyone, any age, Does anyone want to share any colors? Go ahead. Sometimes people sense and see things. Your colors all really resonate to your chakras, so it's kind of a fun way to, bring in messages for people, or things like that. So that's always something. Or if there's any questions about what I've spoken on, there's a lot more I could get into about how spirituality and mental and emotional wellness, the side effects of over and unnecessary pharmaceutical use for mental health. I have an article on that is very in-depth, something I survived 30 years ago, very personal to me, and I channel a lot of it. So if anyone is interested in taking that into, that it's not an anti or a bash of any kind of medical medicine, but it is an understanding of something that's going on with the psych meds on the energy field and the spirit, the separation it can create. So I respectfully speak on that and work with a lot of people on that topic. And sadly, a lot of it is people who've crossed. And like I said, I lived through it personally. So I understand what's going on energetically through the spirit. And I wasn't doing this work then, by the way. I really didn't understand it. So just to, I don't know, no questions. I guess I could have done a little longer meditation. I'm sorry I didn't now. But I think that, I'm just grateful for those of you that did tune in. And appreciate that, and hope it brought some insight and light and understanding to, maybe your own emotions that you have and the feelings that you deal with, and understanding, the power of your spirit, getting you to understand that being devoted to it, whether it's a 5-minute meditation or taking a walk in nature, acknowledging the busyness of mind and saying, okay, we'll talk later. I've said that to many thoughts during meditation. Oh no, we're going to talk later. This is not the time. And it always seems to find its way into the right moment, or I don't even like the word right, but a moment where it's going to be where it maybe is why it was on my mind in the first place. It makes more sense. Instead of, worrying and overthinking something over and over and over again, I say step back, contemplate, and reflect on something. Worry is repetitive thought of low frequency that has downloaded right into that subconscious. And that can be from yesterday to something when you were a child. And if that's down there in that frequency, your law of attraction is having a good old time bringing that stuff to you, and that's all you can see. It's amazing when we get into that understanding of, law of attraction and our thought energy and the power of thought. But our thought process being in its higher frequency is a beautiful, it aligns us to the power of our own spirit to be a better human. Be a better human, or a beautiful human, or a human of higher potential. We have lots of words we can use, and but we all deserve it. We all deserve it, and that's why we're here, I feel. So anyways, I do this work, obviously, and I do some live group channeling, virtual. All my information is really on my website, innerlightteaching.com. Feel free to go on over there. And I do have an Eventbrite. I use Eventbrite for some of my, events, simple things, I guess I'd like to share with you. Right now, pretty much everything is virtual, except in the Port St. Lucie, Florida area. If anyone is around there, I'm starting to do some very big healing community here in Stewart in this area. I had no clue. I've only been in this area 2 months now, and making some beautiful connections and beautiful, a lot of beautiful centers here. And it's pretty cool. So if anyone's up in this area listening, definitely, reach out, because there are many people here lifting the vibration, if you will, and understanding the power of their own spirit and wanting to share it with others. So St. Lucie, Florida, Port St. Lucie, Florida, East Coast, about 30 minutes north of Jupiter, but south of Vero, south of Fort Pierce. Some people know those cities a little more. And yeah, it's a beautiful little community. So I'm here doing some in-person things as well now. And just a little shout out to my I am cards. I told you what it was for today. I think it was so appropriate, and the message was powerful. And those are all that on my website, innerlightteaching.com, of course. And I'm just grateful the opportunity that you gave me to speak, Mark, and other people, and people who are just joining to learn more and be connected to people who can help, them align to something that will serve their mind, body, and spirit, and of course, heart, mind, body, spirit. Heart's the power battery, as far as I'm concerned. Nope. I don't know. I guess I can keep talking if you want me to, but does anybody have any questions? No. I don't know. I was gonna, I could maybe, I'll pull a card. I'm gonna pull a card for us. I guess that's what I'm gonna do, because I ran out of 7:30. I don't know how long they want me to talk, but I love it. I'll keep talking. So I'm gonna draw a card, close my eyes, and I'm gonna see what our message is as a group. You guys, I am open to the wisdom of my heart. And the colors, heart, I just got done saying that, didn't I? I love when things align. And the wisdom of the heart and the power of the heart, it's just like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's amazing. It's peace-filled, it's powerful. And it's the wisdom that comes from understanding who we are emotionally. It's just, I don't know. What are the words? This says it all. This mantra, I am open to the wisdom of my heart. You meditate on the color, green being the heart chakra color. It can also be pink, I know. And it will, beautiful. Nice chat. It will, write that down even right now. I am open to the wisdom of my heart. So when you do get a deck of the cards that are available, Amazon, my website, they're all over the place. I'll be doing a free class once a month to pick a group mantra card. And we'll be doing energy with that, or meditation and manifesting with it, and then meet again in another month. Might do it twice a month. We'll see how it goes. And so I'm excited about that. So I love that this card showed itself as the beautiful emerald green wisdom of the heart. Let us all be open to it. Yes. I don't know what else I could talk about, guys. I really ran out of, I was trying to stay on time, and because I got more time now. Oh, here, that Mark.
Does anybody have any questions for Beth?
Thank you, Mark.
Everybody are muted. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask her a question.
Yeah, could be anything.
Hey, Catherine.
Hi, everybody. I'm after you. Nice to see you. Nice to hear you. I'm going to build on what you talked about the heart. And out here in California, we have something called the Heart Math Institute. And you may have heard about it, but they have done a lot of research. and we wrote the book, The Heart Brain. And what it is a biophysicist who said, when you send love from the heart, it never stops going. There's no end. It can go through the earth, through the solar system, through other galaxies, and they still haven't measured the end of that love.
You know what it is? When we were born, the first organ was the heart. I mean, we didn't have a brain. We thought with our heart, and we felt with our heart. And in fact, I mean, that's how a doctor, what the first thing they would do is when they heard the heartbeat, then they knew that we were going to be alive. And then the brain came later. So people forgot to like think with the heart and started going to the brain.
Thank you for sharing that, both of you. And no, Catherine, I'll check that book out. I really found my way to everything through my own little meditations and experiences I had, and a lot of tears and even some laughter. And so when I put the Inner Light program together, it was really through meditation. I felt the name and the power of that heart. And I think for so long, not understanding my own. So I love when things come out that are showing science behind something that it is simple, but we complicated it, like Mark said. And I never knew that was the organ before the brain. See, I love to learn things about the science, because I am not like I said, I was as ADD as they came in school. I barely got out of high school, and because I couldn't comprehend. But back then they didn't really have names for that, and I'm glad they didn't, to be honest with you, because
probably better. Yes.
Yeah, high school.
For sure.
Yeah, we made a mistake with the school business. In Russia, that after the 8th grade, you can go to high school, or you can go what's called college. And it's kind of like vocational school on steroids, meaning you can go to a lawyer school, a med school, a school. For the next 4 years, you actually learn the trade. Then you can go into university, or you can actually go into the med field or the lawyer field or the other field.
That's amazing.
Because our kids, give me a break.
Yeah, no, I understand. That working in the high school for 5 years, I wouldn't even call it work, was just an amazing. I mean, I'm hoping to make connections here in St. Lucie and maybe get a program going in one of their high schools. There's a lot of high schools around here. If I haven't made that step yet, I got one thing at a time right now. But I definitely will reach out, because it was powerful to see that experience with these kids, and them, coming in and telling me they passed their exam, and, they knew they just was different this time because they meditated 5 minutes before, and, they learned to calm themselves down. It's basic stuff, that shouldn't have to be so complicated. Our spirit wants to speak through us, and that's where we're at as a species. We got to let it. We're all doing that.
How's CNN to stress them out? Yeah. We don't want to get stressed out. Because then we get diseased. So Beth is in Port St. Lucie now, and she can be reached at www.innerlightteaching.com. Her phone number is 888-271-4487. And any lasting word?
Just again, my gratitude to you. I've been at a couple expos. I look forward to the Boca one again coming up, and whenever it is, January. Yeah.
Book is October 22, 3, and 4. And
okay.
It's funny because hopefully, the mayor doesn't have too many restrictions. Right now, there's 100,000 people in Central Park at that big New York concert.
Wow.
And yet, they complain about expos and conference. I mean, they're nuts. The whole thing is completely insane.
Wow.
It's like before, don't go into, you can't watch a ball game, but you can sit 6 inches away from somebody on an airplane.
Yeah, I know. That's the crisis, the crisis we're in. So I'm grateful, and I hope what I shared helps people, and definitely always reach out. I'm always available to schedule or just volunteer.
Also, it's going to be January 22nd and 23rd in Boca.
I'll be there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.